Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're exploring the incredible story of the Knanaya community. There are people whose entire identity for nearly 1,700 years has been defined by a single sacred promise. Let's dig in and uncover how this ancient covenant is still shaping their lives today. Everything really circles back to this one year, AD 345. Now, this isn't just some date on a timeline. It's the anchor point for a whole community. It marks a migration that would define their descendants for the next 17 centuries. So, what was it that set this incredible journey in motion? To really get the weight of that journey, we've got to rewind the clock, and I mean way back to ancient Israel right after the death of King Solomon. It's here, in all that chaos, that the seed of their unique identity was first planted. So after Solomon, the kingdom tragically splits in two. In the north, the tribes began to intermingle with the peoples around them, and over time, their distinct identity just kind of faded. But in the south, the tribes of Judah and Benjamin, they went a completely different route, doubling down on their laws and culture to keep their heritage alive. Now here's what's really interesting. When the Persian Empire conquered the southern kingdom, its people were exiled to Babylon. But even in a foreign land, miles and miles from home, they held on tight to their traditions, strictly observing their unique Jewish culture and laws. And that unwavering commitment to their heritage, that's the key. It stayed with them as they embraced Christianity, and eventually, it set them on this remarkable journey from Mesopotamia all the way to the lush shores of Kerala in India. This timeline really puts that whole journey into perspective, doesn't it? You can see this direct line from a kingdom divided through an exile that really forged their resolve, all leading to this pivotal migration. The common thread is crystal clear, a relentless focus on preserving their identity no matter where they were. This wasn't some random flight. It was a well-organized expedition. You had a group of around 400 people, led by a merchant named Kanai Thoma, and they even brought their spiritual leaders like Bishop Mar Yusep. They were a complete community, bringing their East Syrian Christian faith all the way from southern Mesopotamia to a brand new land. Okay, so they've arrived in Kerala. But what was the one tradition that was so vital, so central to who they were, that it would survive for more than 1,700 years? Well, this brings us right to the heart of their story, the unchanging covenant. The practice is known as endogamy. At its simplest, it's just the custom of marrying exclusively within your own community. Now, plenty of groups have practiced this for social or cultural reasons, but for the Knanaya, this was something much, much deeper. This quote really gets right to the point. For them, endogamy isn't just a tradition. They see it as a perpetual covenant their ancestors made directly with God. It's a sacred promise, not just some social preference. So why make such a profound commitment? Because their ancestors were driven by what they believed was a divine promise, that if they maintained their distinct lineage, their descendants would be blessed and they would possess their own land. This core belief took a social custom and turned it into a sacred duty. So how did this ancient covenant become the very bedrock of their community, shaping their lives from the moment they landed in India all the way up to today? Well, when they arrived in Kerala, they fully embraced their mission to strengthen the local Christian church. They shared their beautiful East Syrian liturgy and built warm, friendly relationships with other communities. So they integrated spiritually, but they stayed distinct socially, holding true to their covenant by not intermarrying. And this is the crucial point. That shared heritage, that ancient promise, it became the very glue holding them together. It's the fundamental reason for their powerful and enduring sense of unity, a bond that was forged across continents and centuries. And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating final thought. In a world that is constantly changing, constantly globalizing, the Knanaya story is this powerful testament to how an ancient promise, a sacred covenant, can continue to shape and define a people's identity 1,700 years later. It really makes you think about the enduring power of faith and tradition.